Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. And as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today, I'm going to do a pretty interesting video. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to entitle it at this particular time, but something along the lines of the Shalamar songs and how they're difficult to play. And here's probably the reason why. I guess they do this to enhance the product. What happens is in some cases, after they finish the recording and before they release the master for mass production, they slow it down or they speed it up. And here's the problem with that. Whenever you slow something down or speed it up musically, it changes the key. And a lot of times these songs are in between keys, so it's impossible to play them along with the record. You know, I give you a couple of songs that are guilty of that. R. Kelly, Honey Love, good luck with that because you're not going to play like the record because they didn't alter the speed. 90% of Michael Jackson's solo catalog, they didn't slow it down, speeded it up. And Lionel Richie, almost 100% of his stuff. When I first realized that is when I had the songbooks for Michael Jackson, this off the Thriller album. And I think I had another one too. And I was trying to play Rock With You or Rock With You. And I'm like, I'm playing the chord, but it's definitely not lining up with the chord on the song. And that's because on that particular song, they slowed it down. A lot of times they speed things up because I think the Shalamar stuff, they speed up. Because again, I've had quite a few people asking me to do that particular song second time around. And I tried it many years ago and I wasn't even close. I'm like, what's going on here? And that's what happened. They altered the master, which changed the key. So it's almost impossible to play along with the record with those songs. Now you can probably put something together that works, but you can't line it up with the record. I mean, say for instance, if you're going to do a cover of it in the club, yeah, you can do your own arrangements and it'll work, but you can't play along with the record. So that's the mystery, because I had somebody just recently ask me to do that particular Shalamar song. I'm like, I tried to do this years ago and it just didn't line up. You know, the voicing I couldn't get even close to on guitar, even though the chords in this guitar is being played by a piano. And that's another thing. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, because what we just kind of don't think about, the guitar and the piano are two totally different instruments. You know, the guitar you strum, the piano you strike. And depending on how you playing piano on a composition might be difficult to replicate on guitar. Now you could do your own version and your own arrangement, but you're not going to be sounding close to the record. You know, another one is Easy by the Commodores. I can give you the chords, but playing on guitar ain't going to sound close to what's being played on piano, because again, a lot of times the trick to me is this. If someone submits a song to me where the piano is just playing chords, they land them. Da, da, da. I can do that on guitar, but when it's breaking it up into notes, da, 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 da. Good luck with that, because it ain't going to sound good on guitar. Because again, they're two different instruments. So we have to keep that in mind when we are trying to tackle some of our favorite songs. If you're a guitar player and the song you want to play is a hardcore ballad, it ain't gonna work, you know, because the voices are not gonna line up well and it's not gonna sound good. That's why sometimes people write stuff on guitar that sounds better on guitar than piano, and vice versa. Sometimes they write stuff on piano that don't sound good playing on guitar. You know, because I mean, just think about this. Could you imagine "Stairway to Heaven" by Led Zeppelin? How it would have sounded if they would have done it on piano instead of the guitar. I mean, that's one of the signature guitar parts of all time in a rock music. So just imagine that being played on the piano versus a guitar. It wouldn't have the same effect, you know, because again, sometimes it doesn't cross over well, and sometimes it does. A lot of times, and most of the time, I would say some of the time, I won't say most of the time, but some of the time it crosses over well. Sometimes it's like, this ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. They're two different instruments. So I thought I would post a video again. A lot of times in the studio, they alter the master to enhance the sound. That's what they feel. Me personally, As many songs that I've taken to the studio, I go into the studio with this in mind. Can I do this song live? You know, instead of I'm throwing in a lot of studio tricks. So once, you know, it hits the record stores, people buy it, and then they come out to see me play it. It's like, it don't sound nothing like the record. That's my foresight. I'm thinking about this ahead of time instead of we've already done the song. I'm doing a bunch of studio tricks, and now we're doing it live, and the audience like, because another group that was notorious for that was Parliament. I remember people used to walk out of their concerts because they're like, it don't sound shit like the record. You know, it's like, that's because they didn't alter the voices. They didn't alter the master. They didn't change in between keys or some weird tuning. So yeah, it's not going to sound like the record. But I always kept that in mind when I recorded stuff for me. Now, as far as me penning songs on other artists, once, you know, I've written that song for them, I'm like, well, you do what you want with it, you know? If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But me personally, when I released my 3 CDs, actually it was 2, everything that I did in the studio, I was able to replicate it on stage. You know, I think about this too, because a lot of artists don't think about this. If you go in and it's just you and your band is the guitar player, and you put 3 guitar parts in the song and they 3 different parts, how's that going to work when it comes to do it live? Are you going to hire another guy, 2 other guys to do that part? You know, those are things that you have to think about when you're writing songs. That can you do this live? You know, will it be a big task to do it live? And there's some artists that just kind of ignore that, and they just because in the studio you can do whatever you want. You can throw in studio tricks, all kinds of stuff to make it sound real good. But you say to yourself again, when it's time to do it live, can I do this live and it's recognizable? I've always kept that in mind whenever I went into the studio to record songs, because, you know, again, you don't want to have 4 guitar parts going in your song and you're the only guitar player in the song. And if this is your signature song and it's your hit, everybody's waiting for it. That's usually the song that you play last. And everybody's anticipating hearing that song the way that they heard it when they paid for the CD or the vinyl. You know, but again, some artists don't care about that. Some of them don't have the foresight to think about that. You know, and as a artist, or should I say a musician, is trying to replicate a particular song, you know, that's what you got to think about too. I'm a guitar player, so why am I trying to tackle this hardcore ballad song with piano ballad where it's just nothing but piano and the vocals? And it's like, so I'm gonna do this with a guitar. Again, you can make your special arrangements, you know, to do that on guitar, but it's going to be different from the record. So, you know, we got to keep that in mind. So until next time, take care and thanks for watching.